So you're thinking about moving to Nashville, Tennessee, but you want to know the good and bad about the city before making the move? Well, today we're going to talk about 5 pros and cons of living in Nashville, Tennessee. You know what? I'm going to throw in a bonus pro and con for you specifically about real estate. So you want to stick around and we're going to get started right now. If this is the first time to my channel and you want to know everything there is to know about eating, drinking, sleeping, working, playing, the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly of living in Nashville, Tennessee, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, click that notification so you are notified every time we put out new content so you can stay ahead of the market in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm Scott Hardesty, and as a real estate consultant, my team and I get phone calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you making the move to Nashville, Tennessee, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving tomorrow or next year, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Better yet, schedule a Zoom call with me. I would love to see you face to face, and we can help you make a smooth transition from wherever you are in the world to Nashville, Tennessee. So let's get started. Pros and cons of Nashville, Tennessee. Obviously, I think there's more pros than cons or I wouldn't be here. But we want you to have a realistic idea of what it's like to live here. Pro number 1, Nashville has a thriving and booming economy. It is a great place to live as far as the economy goes. Getting a job here is not that hard. You have people bringing their entire headquarters here. Amazon just built a new headquarters, not their full headquarters, but a smaller headquarters for Amazon. Oracle is bringing 8,500 jobs here. You have Alliance Bernstein, who just built a headquarters here. Bridgestone brought their headquarters here in his downtown. You have Caterpillar, Cracker Barrel, Nissan, all these corporations have a presence here in Nashville. And a big one that you might not know about is HCA, Health Corporations of America. That is a driving economic force in Nashville, mainly because of the thousands of healthcare companies that spawned off of that company. So the healthcare engine here is very large. And as you know, there's a lot of money in that space. So lots of money here in Nashville. You also have Vanderbilt Medical University Center that has over 24,000 employees. Huge company. So a lot of jobs here, and they just keep coming. The tax breaks, the tax incentives for corporations moving here are very strong. So that just continues to grow and grow and grow. So here's the con of that, as you probably can guess, is that as our city grows so quickly with new people coming here, it puts a strain on the infrastructure. Whoever built Nashville, I guarantee you they were not thinking that Nashville was going to grow like it has. So our traffic, right? There's huge traffic problems right now. The interstates are just getting nasty and nasty, especially during rush hour. 24 towards Murfreesboro, all the way down to Chattanooga. That one to me is the worst. The best one right now, I think, is 40 West. So coming in east from 40 West is probably the best interstate right now that we have. But again, who knows? I'm sure that's going to get worse and worse as we continue to grow. So infrastructure is a big issue right now. A lot of people are talking about it, trying to figure out how to alleviate some of the pressures from that. And then the transportation, we don't have a lot of public transportation. We have a bus system, but we don't have any rail, right? There's limestone under Nashville, so it's very difficult to dig and make rail or anything like that. So public transportation is a problem, and traffic as a whole. Good problems to have, I think, but problems nonetheless. So something to think about if wherever your office is, if you have to go into an office, be thinking about how far away your house is, or, as you narrow down neighborhoods, how far away do I want to be from that location, because it is going to be an issue for you. All right, pro number 2, Nashville has amazing music, amazing talent. You have people going and playing at Broadway for free, for tips, but the location is not even paying them because these people are just hoping to get noticed by someone who can make them famous. It is an unbelievable amount of talent with the live music. And Broadway, if you've been here before, it's just bars and restaurants just lined up with all kinds of talent. And so it's a really fun place to be. Not only that, but we have Bridgestone Arena has concerts all year round. The Nissan Stadium has concerts all year round. We have the amphitheater that is an outside concert right by the river. Great artists come to play in Nashville. So it's a really fun place to be. The con of that, as you probably already know, is that tourists love these places as well. So downtown Broadway, especially on the weekends, it's just crazy. I went down a few weeks ago to the Ryman and on a Friday night, and it reminded me of going to downtown Nashville on New Year's like 10 years ago. That's how busy it is just on a normal weekend now. So just know, right, it's fun sometimes. If you live here, you're probably not going to go down there as much because it's just the crowds are just so crazy. So unless you're going for a specific concert or a specific reason, but it's nice to have. It's nice to be able to go out and hear some live music and just know that the talent is going to be ridiculous. Pro number 3, Nashville has an awesome and growing restaurant scene. The food here is absolutely incredible. I could go on for days about the restaurants that we have here. Let's name a few: the Catbird Seed, Yolan, Bourbon Steak, Bob's Steakhouse. Locust is a new one in 12 South. It's already winning awards. And let's not forget about the chicken. I don't know how we became known for the hot chicken, but you got Hattie B's, which is, you know, very popular with the tourists. You have Princess Chicken. The list just goes on. It just goes on and on. It's crazy. You have pizza, Slim and Huskies. You got a Chicago place over in Germantown, 312 Pizza Company, 5 Points Pizza. It's it's incredible. Get over to East Nashville. You have tons of local restaurants. The barbecue here, I'm getting hungry just thinking about these places. So the food scene is awesome. The con to that, again, as the city grows, it's really tough just to pop in and get a seat at one of these good restaurants. So you have to plan ahead, which I don't do when it comes to restaurant food. So it's hard for me, but you have to plan a week or 2 weeks sometimes in advance to get a table. Open Table is a great spot to go. Most of the restaurants are connected to that app, so making reservations is pretty simple. But the con to that is just that it can be hard. Like if you're last minute like me, got to plan ahead. So date nights, you can really get in trouble if you don't plan ahead. But the food is great. Pro number 4, no income tax. It is an awesome thing to not have income tax. And a lot of people move here just because of that. Again, going back to the corporations who move here, the tax incentives really add up. So do the math on what you're paying in your current state if you have income taxes, but we don't have them here. And, you know, it's a good place. Really, you know, we have property taxes, obviously, and you have your federal, but we don't have the state income tax. And so that saves a lot of money there for people who are, you know, if you're trying to budget and fixed income or anything like that, you can really save some money. The con of that, this is just Davidson County, which is Nashville. They just raised the property taxes by 34%. I mean, it's not really, if you compare it to a big city like New York or Chicago, a place like that, it's still way less than what you're going to pay in a city like that. But just be aware that those taxes are going up. You know, they're trying to figure out how to deal with the growth in infrastructure as well. And so I'm assuming that those numbers will continue to rise because, again, you know, we don't have the state income tax. So where else do you go? You got to go to property taxes. So I expect to see that continue to go up. Okay, pro number 5, sports. We have a great time with our sports teams here in Nashville. Take the Predators, for example. When they made that Stanley playoff run, they made fun of us for being, you know, taking like the SEC football loud and crazy culture into hockey because the games were just absolutely insane. I remember Broadway was full of people and TVs lined up down the streets where people were watching the Preds games when they made the playoffs and got into the Stanley Cup. So it's really fun. We show up for our teams, and we have obviously the Tennessee Titans. They're doing pretty poorly right now. We're in a rebuilding year, even though we have the best running back in the world. But we have the Titans. We have the Nashville Sounds, which is a minor league baseball team. They built a new stadium for them probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it's a really fun stadium. They know that people don't usually care much about minor league baseball, so in right field they have ping pong, putt, cornhole, things like that for people just to go and hang out. So it's a whole event just to go to a minor league game. We finally got a major league soccer team, and they built the stadium last year. I've heard it's the largest stadium in the country for soccer. So obviously if someone's playing at an NFL stadium, that doesn't count, but just for soccer, we have the biggest one in the country as of now, which is pretty cool. And those games are fun as well. It's just we bring a lot of energy. Of course, we have college teams here as well. We have Vanderbilt University, who is good at baseball, decent at basketball, usually awful at football. We have some other big universities here as well, Lipscomb, Belmont, Trevecca, those that have some teams as well that you can go and watch. So fun time with the sports. The con, and this is really just a personal con, we don't have a Major League Baseball team. I grew up on baseball, playing baseball, love it. My team is the Atlanta Braves, so I really want an American League team to come here so I don't have to compete against the Braves until we get to the World Series. But we don't have a Major League Baseball team. There is a group of people working on that, trying to make that happen. So we'll see. But as of now, no Major League Baseball team. We do have an NBA team in Memphis, the Grizzlies. And so they're close enough to where you can make a overnight trip to go watch a game if you want, but no Major League Baseball team. Atlanta's probably the closest. You have St. Louis. There would be another one, and the Cubs are usually on. I think the Cubs are on everywhere, but you can watch those games if you want, but we don't have anybody here. So hopefully that changes soon. Okay, I promised you a bonus pro and con around real estate, and here it is, the pro. We are very insulated from what happens in the rest of the country. Like I said, HCA, the healthcare industry in Nashville is very strong. All these other companies coming into the area create a somewhat of a bubble around us that where we have healthy jobs and people are able to pay their mortgages. So even if the rest of the market goes down, we're going to stay pretty steady overall. And I want to give you an example. So I moved to Nashville in 1998, but I made a quick move to Florida in 2007, right before the market crashed. Florida was devastated. I mean, there were houses, going for $250,000, $300,000 that were dropped to $50,000 overnight. I had a buddy buy a house for $12,000. That was a decent house that someone could live in. Builders abandoned developments halfway through, right? I mean, it was crazy. It was devastating. I moved back to Nashville in 2010, and when I got back, it was, prices had come down, but it was nothing like Florida. Nothing like it. So it was, there were some foreclosures here and there, obviously, but when you really got down to it and looked at what was happening, Nashville did not get hit nearly as hard as some of the rest of the country did. And that, I think it is because of how good the economy is here and how many jobs are here and continue to come here. So just know this, that if you purchase here, it's a pretty good investment. Your values are gonna hold for the most part. The con of that is if you're sitting here waiting for the market to shift and prices drop crazily, it's probably not gonna happen. Now, granted, I will say, we're in the middle of a little bit of a shift right now. So if you're a buyer, you are able to ask for concessions now, like closing costs, or you can ask for a price reduction, things like that, and you will get it. But if you're looking for just crazy drops in prices, I don't think you're going to see that anytime soon in Nashville, Tennessee, because of just what's going on here. It's insulated from what's happening in other parts of the country. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I mean, if something crazy happens, we could see something change. But from what I've seen historically, our prices are strong in this area, and as people continue to move here, I don't see those prices coming down anytime soon because supply and demand. We're still in a seller's market, even though people are talking about recessions and things like that. Still a seller's market. That's my pros and cons of living in Nashville, Tennessee. I hope this helps you get a better idea of what we're dealing with here. Again, it's a great place to be. I don't want to be anywhere else in the world. I love it here. So if you have any other questions, or I'd love to hear your comments if you agree or disagree with my pros and cons and other pros and cons that you might think are happening here in Nashville, Tennessee. I will see you next time on That Nashville Life. See you later.